And then finally, the third set of assignments will be 2 unit exams and a final exam. The unit exams will be in week 6 and week 12. It will consist of 2 open book, open notes essay questions. Now, that might sound easy, but it is not. It is, these questions will require you to bring all this information together that you've done in that particular unit. And in doing so, I'm looking for, because it's open book, open notes, I'm looking for a well-rounded, comprehensive essay where you talk about people and places and events and not just kind of a, brief sentence or two. I'll provide you with a study guide at least 2 weeks before, so in week 4 and week 10 at least. And so, again, these are meant to be comprehensive essays. So don't think, oh, well, open book, it's going to be fine. You need to have your material together and organized and ready to go before you try to do these essay questions, or you will not have the time to complete them. So keep that in mind. I'll be sending out an email and some study guides, as we approach those. But week 6, week 12. The exam in week 6 will cover everything up to week 6. The exam in week 12 will cover only the material since that first exam. So it won't be a comprehensive essay from the beginning of the semester. It'll only be that material for that second unit. Then there will also be a final exam in week 7 that will have a comprehensive part. Though it'll be a similar format, question types will be very similar, might be a little bit longer, but not much. One of those essays will only be material from the second exam on. The other question will be based off of some broad idea from the entirety of the course. Again, very broad, so it's not not as intricate as maybe these other essays are, but it's still going to be kind of a broad aspect of it. There'll be a study guide for that as well. And certainly as we get closer, if you have any questions, if you have anything that you're concerned about, want to know about, more than willing to take that time to talk over it with you. But right now, I just want to give you a brief overview of those things. Those are the major areas for points, grades. The last area, which isn't so much an assessment of whether you can do those, demonstrate those skills that we talked about, is more of kind of what we would call a attendance grade. Now, attendance works kind of differently, certainly for an online course, because you're not required to be online at a specific time. So instead, what you will do is watch video lectures each week. Usually, in many cases, I've tried to break a larger lecture down into 15 to 25-minute increments, so that if you have another job or if you have other responsibilities, you might be able to take 15 minutes here or 20 minutes there. All right, so I've tried to break them down into chunks that you can get through quickly, where if you don't have an hour and a half to sit down and watch a video, you can still get through the material as you can. And so there's usually 2 main lectures each week that have been broken down into 15-minute increments. So it's anywhere from 6 to 9 videos each week, but again, a lot of them in 15 to 25-minute chunks. For this assignment, you need to watch those videos, submit notes on those videos. Essentially, this proves to me that you are engaging with the material, that you are It's kind of like demonstrating you were there for the lecture. Like if this were a face-to-face class, I could look out and see, okay, they're taking notes, as we're going through the material. This is a way for you to do that. Should be the assignment is kind of graded on a done, not done basis, so it's pretty easy to complete this assignment. We'll talk more about some of the specifics here in a minute. But each week you should expect to watch about 3 hours of video, except for weeks where we have exams, because that's basically what you would be doing if you were taking this on ground. So the same requirements, just in a way that maybe is more convenient for your time schedule. You also will need to answer questions on the discussion boards each week. Just kind of a brief question asking you to engage with the material that's been discussed that week. You're more than welcome to interact with other students on the discussion board. This first week, I would like it if you would introduce yourself. I know some of you already, some of you I don't know. So just kind of introducing yourself, but then also that'll allow you to get to know some of your classmates as well. So, take some time to introduce yourself, read through other people's introductions, so that we can try and have a little bit of knowledge of who we are, even though, we're separated by line, some of us even in other states online. Here's the grading breakdown. Unfortunately, this didn't format correctly in transferring it here through Blackboard and then onto the video. This is the breakdown for what each of these assignments are worth. I do my semesters. For those of you that have had classes with me, you know this pretty well. But I do my semesters out of 1,000 points. For a couple of reasons. One is that there's no one assignment that derail your semester, right? And so if you do poorly on any one assignment, it's not going to destroy your chances of passing the class. So for example, if you do not do as well on the first unit exam as you would have liked, maybe you get a C or a D on it, that still doesn't mean that you're looking at an F for the course, or you're looking at a C or D for the course. There's plenty of other points that you can, earn to bring that grade up. However, if you consistently don't turn in assignments, or you consistently don't do well on assignments, that is going to add up. So doing those reading quizzes, writing those reflective essays, submitting those notes, even though each individual component, each reading quiz is out of 4 points. And so if you miss a couple, it's not going to destroy your grade. But if you consistently, if you decide not to do them at all, you can't get an A in this course if you don't do the reading quizzes. Same with the reflective essays, the same with submitting the notes, right? Any one of those, if you just decide, I'm not doing that, the highest you can get is a B. So, keep that in mind. A second reason that I do it out of 1,000 points is that the grading is just addition and subtraction. So at any one point, you can look at the total amount of points you have. You say, okay, I want to get an A in this course. Well, to get an A, I need at least 900 points. Right now I have, let's say it's midterm, right now I have 400 points. What do I need to get on the remaining assignments in order to get in the course, right? So it's a addition and subtraction, not percentages and averages that other other faculty members might do. But addition and subtraction, certainly, at any point, if you're not sure, I'd be more than willing to talk through it with you. But hopefully, that helps balance out some things by doing it by points, by doing it by 1,000 points, maybe give you a little opportunity to, there's a safety net there, right? You might do poor on some things, but it's not going to ruin your entire semester. A couple other things to think about here, some different policies and things related to that. I want to say a little bit more about the engagement or participation, because it is kind of like an attendance type of grade. Each class session, each class lecture is out of 4 points. So if you basically, if you submit your notes for that video lecture, you get 4 points. Now, if you've only watched the first 2 videos out of 4 videos, you're only going to get half. Right? So, I mean, it's it's up to 4 points. You can submit notes like you would take in class, or if you want to kind of summarize the information, you could just write a paragraph or two, like like about 2 pages, I should say, 500 words. In the notes and in the summary, which you don't have to do both, one or the other, either submit your notes or a summary. It should be evident, especially if you do the summary, it should be evident that you watched all of the videos for that week. All right, so make sure that you have a comprehensive summary. And so most people find it easier to do the notes rather than the summary. If you write your notes out by longhand, that's fine. If you type them up, that's fine. You could submit pictures of your notes or submit the file that you use, whatever's going to be easiest for you. Right? Yes, I know not doing it would probably be easiest, but in order to complete this assignment, if it's going to be easier for you to just write out notes, take a picture of it, submit it, that's fine. Don't just copy the PowerPoint slides. Don't just kind of get the bullet points, because remember, the exams and the final are going to be open note, open book. So if you take good notes throughout the semester, you will be in great shape for the exams and the final. So, really pay attention to what you're doing. Again, these notes are on the video lectures, not the textbooks. You do not need to submit any notes on the textbooks, but submit on the video lectures that are linked each week. Let me switch over again. We'll go to the Blackboard site again. So in the Blackboard, under course content, you'll have the weeks broken down. And so week 1, you have the review of the syllabus, additional policies, a place to submit your notes, and any quizzes. So there's only one quiz for week 1. Of course, week 2. Right? And so each week we'll have that. So the video playlist, so you click on this, it'll open up another tab with a playlist on YouTube for the videos for that particular week. And so hopefully be pretty easy to find the videos, and by going through the playlist, again, it's broken down into different chunks, so you can always kind of leave and come back as you need to. But that's how you find the notes how do you find the lectures. Couple of things that are specific to online courses. If you don't participate in the first 14 days, you will be administratively withdrawn. Now, what does participation mean? Participation means completing any related academic assignment. So in order to participate in the first 14 days, if you post an introduction, right? Hi, I'm so-and-so, I'm in my, this is my major, most of you are Bible majors, but, this is my major, this is what I want to do with my life, right? This is the job I work at. That's participation. All right, so submitting a academically related assignment, right? A discussion board, taking a quiz, right? That's participation. If you don't do anything like that, then you're administratively withdrawn, taken out of the course. If you don't participate for 21 calendar days, I should have paid attention to that. So let's say the first 2 weeks you're involved in the class and you participate and you do all the assignments, and then you just decide, I don't want to do this anymore. If you go for 21 calendar days without participating in the course, you will receive an FA. If something comes up, because frequently things come up, illnesses, job issues, family difficulties, get in contact with me. I'm more than willing to work as much as possible with someone, to try and help you succeed. And that's kind of connected with the next point about makeup work. As I mentioned before, it's got to be extreme circumstances before I'll give you a makeup for a reading quiz. Other than what I said, if you don't have the book at the beginning of the class here, yeah, get in contact with me. But if you just forget 1 week, I'm probably not going to, allow a makeup, because you do have an amount of time to do them. I mean, with the reading quizzes, if you wanted to go take them all now, you could take them all now and be done. I would not encourage that. I would want you to do well, so read and all those kind of things. But you have quite a bit of time in which you can take those reading quizzes. If you miss an exam and you have an excused absence, I'm more than willing to offer you a makeup. But no matter what the situation is, contact me as soon as possible. Now, I realize in the immediate, something, let's say you have a health crisis, which I hope nobody has. Let's say you have a health crisis. Obviously, if you end up in the emergency room with either you or with a family member, the first thing on your mind isn't going to be contact Dr. Brenneman about Survey of Church History. I completely understand that. But as soon as you can, contact me, let me know, let's make arrangements. If you know something is coming up, if you're planning on having surgery, right, which I hope nobody has to have, let me know as soon as possible, and we'll say, okay, that week, you're not going to be able to do anything. That's obvious. You're going to be recovering, so we'll push those assignments back to the next week or the week after, right? But contact me as soon as possible so that we can make arrangements. The earlier you connect with me, the better it will be, because there will be more options for us to make those arrangements. So please keep me informed as needed about those things. If you have a concern about how something was graded, if you feel like I made a mistake, which is certainly possible. I'm human. I make mistakes. The university policy is you can contact me within 3 days and make your appeal, and then I will look over it again and regrade it. Now, hopefully, it's something more substantial than I just don't like this grade. Right? It's like, well, if I've made a mistake, for example, if you write that first reflective essay, and I say you should have talked about this particular idea, and you look at your paper and you look at your essay and you say, well, I did talk about that in paragraph 2. Then get in contact with me. I'll be glad to look that over. Or if you completed a reading quiz, and you're looking over the answers, and one was marked wrong, and you looked at the Gonzalez textbook and said, no, this is the right answer. That something that I did, maybe incorrectly marked an answer, right? The right answer was something else, and I marked this was the correct answer. Please get in contact with me about those kind of situations. I'm more than willing to make some adjustments as needed, or at least kind of better explain, right, this is why I graded this essay this way. But the university policy is 3 days after it has been turned back to you. So please get in contact with me pretty quickly. Academic honesty is very important to me, and it should be to you as well. And unfortunately, it's becoming more and more of a challenge for a lot of institutions, of students breaking academic honesty or violating academic honesty. In this course, we are not doing a research paper. You do not need to do any outside research. So any assignment you submit should be your own work. Please do not submit someone else's work as your own. On the reflective essays, for example, all you need to do is read the particular selection, use your brain, and write an essay. There is no other outside reading that you need to do for that assignment. If, however, you look at some websites, it's like you feel like you don't understand something, so you look up some websites, make sure in submitting your assignment, you have given credit for any ideas or words not your own. Right? You need to cite your sources. Make sure you give people credit. I would encourage you that if you don't understand something, to get in contact with me. I'd be more than willing for us to talk either by phone or by email, set up a chat session, and work through it. Help you try and figure out some things if something's confusing. I'd much prefer that. But if you do refer to other websites or other readings, make sure in your essay you include works cited page, as well as indicate in the essay any ideas you've gotten from other sources. You don't need to, but if you do, make sure you do give credit. Keep your integrity. As I mentioned, most of you are Bible majors, and so you're looking to go into some type of ministry. And even if you're not a Bible major, you might be interested in doing some sort of ministry, or you might just be a Christian trying to go through college. You might not be a Christian at all. But especially if you're a Christian, you need to do whatever it takes to keep your integrity. Do the right things to be that person of integrity. And I would encourage you, even if you're not a religious person, we need people of integrity. Right? So even if you're, you don't believe in God at all, I'd encourage you to be a person of integrity. Even if you differ with me as to why, but especially for most of us in this class who are Christians, keep that integrity. Be the kind of person that if you get outside help, you give credit to people that you need to give credit to. If you need any sort of academic accommodations because of a documented disability, you probably are already aware of the need to contact the Center for Disability Services, particularly Nicole Fussell, who is the director of the center. If you need her contact information, it is available on the syllabus. I can provide it to you in other formats as well if needed. I can provide the syllabus in other formats as needed as well. But please get in contact with the Center for Disability Services as soon as possible so that they can partner with you and with me to provide you the accommodations you need, whether that is additional time on assignments or whatever time, additional time on quizzes or exams, whatever is best needed to help you succeed. And so, as I said, you're probably already aware of that, and you may have already gotten in contact with them, but I want to make sure to remind you to do that if you haven't, if that applies to you. Most of us that are in this online section are in places other than Montgomery. Some of you are in Montgomery, but you have jobs, and so that's part of the reason why you're taking it online. But I am available Monday through Thursday, most weeks 11:15 to 12:30. There's going to be a change. I'll try to, something comes up, I'll try to give you advance notice. I'm in my office on campus, available for you to call. If you're in Montgomery and you want to stop by at that time, that's great too. But those are my access hours where I've specifically set aside. I'm going to be in my office, and I'm going to be available to students. I have other times that I'm available, and so if that time doesn't work for you to call during that time, you need to call later, or you need to stop by earlier. Let me know what would work for you, and we'll see if we can coordinate schedules. A lot of things can be handled by email, and so I'm more than willing to receive your emails. I have my email up on a screen while I'm in my office, so I check it pretty regularly. I try to get back to students within 24 hours. If you haven't heard from me within 48 hours, and it's not a break or some other thing like a weekend where you say, okay, it makes sense why he's not getting back to me, feel free to email me again. Like I said, I try to respond rapidly, but if you haven't heard from me within 48 hours, get in touch with me again. And so I try to respond quickly to that. So if email is going to be, if it's an issue that can be handled by email, that's great. Feel free to reach out to me by email. I check it pretty regularly, even over the weekends. So as if some technical issue comes up, there should be something available, like the quiz, and it's not working. Right? Email me over the weekend if it's over the weekend or something like that, or if it's in the evening. Let me know what's going to work best for us to communicate together for you to succeed. I'm looking forward to a great semester. I'm looking forward to reading your assignments and interacting with you on the discussion boards as appropriate. So please take the time now, if you haven't already, to introduce yourself on the discussion board. Also take the time to review the syllabus. It's a little bit more complete than this video was, so there might be some things that are mentioned on there that provide more information than what I have here. But ultimately, if you have any questions, feel free to get in contact with me whenever, so I can help you succeed. So I'm looking forward to a great class, and I hope that as we go through the semester, you'll learn a lot and be able to appreciate some of the things that we're looking at.